So I'm currently walking with Bubba here. We're in Chicago right now, and we are on our last day of a nice little family getaway. We had a cousin who got married, and it was on my girl's side of the family. But I just wanted to get on here and talk about nurturing those type of connections, the ones that are going to bring you peace, the ones that will make you happy, the ones that aren't drama-filled, right? And I can remember a couple decades ago, back when I was in my late teens, early adulthood, I was not nurturing these type of connections. I wasn't really experiencing them. Now, granted, I did come from a broken home where my mom and dad did split up, and there was some drama there in the household. But when I was growing up, I didn't have much sense of identity, I would say. I wasn't a person who was really taking care of myself mentally. I had a very negative mindset, and I attracted negative people into my life essentially because of that. I was looking for brotherhood. I was looking for companionship. I was looking for friendship. It was just in all the wrong places, right? And one of the things that we have to remember is, even though people may look like us, even though they might like some of the music that we like, have some of the same things that interest us, right? They might go to the same school. We might be co-workers with them. Just because we have those things in common, it doesn't mean that they are necessarily good for us, right? We need to make sure that we are looking at the deeper things about their character, right? Making sure they have a good heart, making sure they have a moral center, make sure they're not drama-filled and going to be doing things that could essentially bring you down if you're associated with them, right? Because I remember when I was hanging out, I was spending time with people, just getting high, getting drunk, and it was that type of friendship essentially, right? But I didn't really take into consideration who I was hanging around with, how much further they could bring me down, right? And, you know, some of the people that I was smoking with, they were actual drug dealers. You know, they were doing things that essentially was a threat to themselves, you know, their own life, and could have been to mine as well if I was continuing to be around them, essentially. And, you know, we have to be careful that we're not around those type of people that don't value life, right? And again, that false brotherhood, it can feel like the real thing, right? But if we're vibing on a negative frequency, if we're hanging around negative influences, maybe we don't know better for a time being, right? Just being unconscious. And we got to make sure that we are not doing that, right? We have to make sure that once we know better, we essentially do have to do better and make a choice. We have to say, hey, like, you know, I'm not going to put my life in danger or my life at risk just because I want some friendship, right? Or some brotherhood, or, you know, a relationship even, right? Because, you know, we can get involved with some people romantically that could be bad for us as well, right? I mean, we've seen movies like, you know, Obsession and Fatal Attraction, and there are people like that out here. There are people who mentally don't have it together, right? There are people who can be very unstable and don't have emotional regulation, and, you know, some get infected with wrath, and those type of people, you want to make sure you're not around them, because when they blow up or they have things going on in their life that, you know, hits them in the face, if you're next to them, you could experience that blowback as well. So this is something that I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of. And, you know, I know there might be some younger people watching this channel, and if they are, you know, I just want to encourage you to make sure you are conscious in who you're hanging around, that you are aware and awake to what people are doing. You got to pay attention to their actions. It's not just, you know, the fact that you're in their vicinity or they're in yours, right? If you have to be isolated a little bit longer, that's okay. If you have to be in the house more, that's okay. You have to make sure you're around good people, man. And I can tell you, just to, you know, this last week has been amazing. And it was something that I was at first not really, you know, when you experience something new, where you experience loving people into your life and you start doing better and you start leveling up, but at the same time, it's not something you've experienced before, it might feel uncomfortable. It might be new. You might wonder, like, you know, is this real? Because all you've known is something that, you know, was more on the negative end of the spectrum. but it's like, you know, you have to trust yourself, you have to trust who you are, you have to know yourself, you have to trust your intuition, and you have to pay attention to when somebody is good for you and when they're not. And if they're not, you know, if they're displaying any kind of behaviors or characteristics that go against what you stand for and what you believe and what you know is right, then don't hesitate to cut ties. You know, you don't have to be around them. Don't settle, you know, accept people for who they are. You know, if they're showing you they behave a certain way, you don't have to, you know, judge them, but at the same time you don't have to be around them either, right? You can love from a distance, and make sure that you are just keeping good people in your vicinity that will uplift you, that will, you know, make you happy to be around, and show real love, you know. And this weekend it was great. Like, I got together with, you know, family and friends that I haven't seen in like over a year, and it was just a good time. It was good energy. It was, you know, having barbecue, playing games, you know, at the park, frisbee, all that stuff going on, nieces and nephews, you know. And it was a lot of fun, and I'm very blessed to experience, you know, both sides of the spectrum. And, you know, from where I started to where I am now, I'm just very grateful that I know what these type of connections are like now, because now that I've experienced it, I'm not going to settle for anything less, you know. I'm not going to be hanging around the type of people that I was hanging around 20 years ago. I'm going to be making sure that I keep networking with the right type of people. So that's what I wanted to get on here and say. Encourage you to do the same and lock in with love, right? So my full love to you guys. I hope this made sense. I hope that message resonates with whoever it needs to resonate with. And until next time, we will talk soon. I got a few more stories from Chicago that I will get into on another video. But for now, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will talk soon. All right, take care.